Happy New Year and welcome back to Goodfellas from 1990. So the movie is based off of the novel by Nicholas Pileggi and directed by Martin Scorsese. So New York 1955, this is young Henry Hill dreaming of wanting to become a gangster, and now points it at Tootie Cicero, one of the neighborhood gangsters played by Frank DeLeo, and the guy slapping Tootie's belly is named Tony Stacks, played by Tony Sirico, who does come back in the Sopranos TV show from the 2000s. A handful of actors from this movie do make it back in the Sopranos. Here comes out the actual boss of the neighborhood, Tootie's brother, Paulie Cicero, played by Paul Sorvino. Now back at Henry's home as he leaves for school after saying bye to the family, and he skips school so he can make work part-time for Tootie Cicero. He now has to stop working at the cab stand since he's in trouble now and now gets a belt beating from his dad. I'll skip that. Now Henry's back to tell Tootie his dad is making him quit the cab stand job and now target the mailman who delivers Henry's school letters of him missing school. So Paulie from The Sopranos and his buddy grab the mailman and take him back to Tootie's restaurant to warn him to stop delivering school letters. Now, no more letters so far, and see Tootie and Henry running around delivering Paulie his messages, and it's lunchtime. Everyone's enjoying their lunch, and with Henry back at night, destroying these cars' windows. Now at Tootie's restaurant, when Henry's seeing a guy who got shot and wasted 8 aprons for his bloodshot. And the next scene we see this hangout spot where all the guys are just having a good time, and here comes Jimmy Conway, or James Conway, played by Robert De Niro, slapping money in everyone's pockets here. Henry now brings up Jimmy's hobby of stealing and now introduces young Henry to young Tommy, and these two will grow up together doing jobs, and Jimmy paying the cops for more cigarettes, and Tommy running up to tell Tootie that Henry has been arrested. So now in the trial where Henry will have his court hearing, you can tell the judge has been paid for sure, and now that's done, Jimmy gives Henry a cash bonus for keeping his mouth shut. So we now have made it to 1963 where Henry Hill is all grown up, now played by Ray Liotta, as well as Tommy all grown up too, played by Joe Pesci. At Idlewild Airport, it says hi to this truck driver. Driver notices the truck has been stolen, and now at the Bamboo Lounge where we now see everyone who are part of the family. Fast forward the scene, again, some of these guys are also in The Sopranos, like Frankie over there. So Henry pushing in these fur coats at the back, and Sonny here, played by Tony Darrow, who will also come back in The Sopranos, needs suits, not fur coats. And now outside in the Bamboo Lounge restaurant area, as Henry here waits for Frenchie, played by Mike Starr, who will tell him and Jimmy about the new job. So an Air France job delivering $500K in cash. Alright, the best part of the movie, the Tommy scene, where everyone likes to see him talk and questions Henry Hill.
How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me.
Here comes Sonny again, reminding Tommy that he owes him $7,000 worth of stuff, and Kane paid for it and smashes a glass bottle on him, and throwing glass at the waiter, and continues with the funny talk. And Sonny's with Paulie now, talking about Tommy annoying him in his business, and Henry suggesting to Sonny to make Paulie his business partner for the Bamboo Lounge, to make Tommy not mess up the place. Now he does that, and the place goes out of business due to lack of sales and unable to pay back business loans, so they'll let the place burn down for insurance. So Henry and Tommy wait in the car as Tommy wants to meet a girl and wants Henry to come along with him for a double date, making excuses that he can't, but still agrees. So the two have made it to dinner as Tommy enjoys. Henry just wants to go see Tootie, and Karen here, played by Lorraine Bracco, is now enjoying it, and she will also come back in The Sopranos. Yeah, like I said. And Henry pays for the food and forcefully drops Karen back to her house, and the next time they meet is on Friday, and Henry never showed up this time. So Karen actually makes Tommy help her to go look for Henry Hill, and they have made it to Tootie's restaurant, and they'll make it up there. So next time at Karen's house.
Duke.
Hi, nice to meet you.
My daughter says that you're half Jewish.
Just the good half.
Now on to the restaurant, walking to the underground entrance to get inside, and he's all set up to enjoy the comedy show here, played by Henry Youngman, who was a real comedian. Now for the Air France grab, as Henry and Tommy go in to see Frenchie there to pick up the cash, and then he drops the rest off at Paulie. In the next scene, Henry's on vacation with Karen, questioning to tip the waiter. And here comes Bruce, someone who lives across Karen's house in New York. And back in normal life as the two just hang out.
Don't buy wigs that come off at the wrong time. Maury's wigs don't come off, even underwater.
Maury's Wigs commercial as Jimmy's watching in anger. And here we meet Maury Kessler, played by Chuck Lowe, refusing to pay back Jimmy's money he borrowed to even make that wig commercial. And Henry gets a call that Karen's in trouble and makes it to the phone booth where she called, and Bruce, who lives across the street, starts bothering her and brings her back home.
I swear my fucking mother, if you touch her again, you're dead!
All you hear is Tommy Rossetti from Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and gives her the gun to keep. And now Henry and Karen get their Jewish wedding, even though Henry isn't Jewish, He pretended, and his family's shown up too. And now for the post-wedding ceremony, as Karen just narrates about Henry's really big family. And now for Karen's favorite part, the money envelopes from each wedding attendee. And back to normal life as Karen's at home as her mother's word to where Henry is. And luckily Karen's mother knows Henry isn't Jewish at all. And now time goes by, Henry's back home.
Hey, what's wrong with you, Henry? What kind of person are you? What is the matter with you? What kind of people are that?
Next scene, Karen's at an all-woman party where they get spa-like treatments. And as Karen narrates, she's disgusted by all this. And she's back at home as Henry tells her to not worry about anything. And they're back with Henry and Tommy doing some more shipping stealing. As Karen continues to narrate, detectives have shown up at the Hill house with a search warrant. As Karen watches Al Jolson on TV, and now at Jimmy's house where the kids are having a birthday party. And some vacation memories, as well as Henry needed to watch his children, but he can't. As Henry takes all those stacks of cash out of his pants, and Karen needs some to go shopping. Now we are in the 1970s at the Sweet Lounge, and we now see Billy Batts, played by Frank Vincent, who will also come back, as I've been saying so far, in The Sopranos, as well as the Grand Theft Auto games. And he's a made man. That's what he's celebrating here. And here comes Tommy with a new girlfriend, and Billy pisses Tommy off good.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Motherfucking mutt, you!
So Tommy leaves the place for now, and Henry telling Batts to relax. And Jimmy pointing out to Batts that he insulted Tommy a bit, which he did, and Tommy comes back. So Henry drives Tommy and Jimmy to Tommy's mom's house, and here she is, played by Catherine Scorsese, Martin Scorsese's mom. And she will give them dinner since her son never comes home. And Tommy needs a knife and makes an excuse a deer came to the car.
So you could settle down. That's what I mean.
settle down almost every night, but then in the morning I'm free. I love you. I want to be with you.
Now Tommy's mother points out that Henry doesn't talk much and tells a story from the past and shows the guys a painting. And the three are off again and have made it to the very beginning of the movie, which was a flashback, and finally killed Billy Batts for real. Trying to kick himself out of the trunk as Henry narrates and buries Billy's body, he will know the consequences of Batts' disappearance. Now back at the same restaurant, this time Henry and Tommy are having fun with girls as speak about Sammy Davis Jr. as well as Nat King Cole. Skip that. And now the song part shuts everyone up in the establishment. And Henry goes home with Janice Rossi here, and the next morning Henry brings Karen and his children to Paulie's house. And even Tootie's there too, haven't seen him in a while. And Paulie pulls Henry to the side and here to keep reminding him that he's being bothered about Billy Batts' disappearance. But Henry makes something up for now. Next scene, Henry's with Janice again. Here comes Jimmy to tell that the place where they buried Billy Batts, the land, was sold to build condos. And Henry washed in the trunk of his car since the smell is bad and has made it to Janice's apartment, which he paid for. And even Janice doing a poor job of work as Henry and Jimmy straighten her boss out. As Henry now makes a fool of himself here. That's embarrassing. Next scene, we see the guys relaxing as Tommy calls for Spider to bring them drinks. And Spider is played by Michael Imperioli, who will also come back in The Sopranos as well. And Tommy didn't get his drink.
Spider, I thought it was Henry.
You know you're a fucking mumbling, stuttering little fuck. You know that?
I thought you said I was alright, Spider.
Tommy wants Spider to dance and bring the drink here and shoots Spider in the foot. And back at Henry since Karen suspects something's going on since he keeps going out at night. So she looks in his suits and Henry all excited just by playing cards, and Spider's back handing out drinks again. Wow, so Spider is dead. Meanwhile, Karen Hill knows all about Janice Rossi and tells her to stay away from Henry Hill. Now for the scene where Karen's about to kill Henry because of Janice Rossi. And she's about to kill him as Henry pushes her out of the way and just leaves. And Jimmy and Paulie have made it to Janice's apartment to meet up with Henry as Paulie tells him that Karen came to his house and she's crazy. But Paulie and Jimmy were supposed to go to Florida to get something, but he'll send Henry instead of himself with Jimmy. Now at Tampa, Florida, as Henry and Jimmy try to get money back from this guy here, and he's not doing it, and are about to feed the guy to the lions. And turns out
to have a sister working as a typist for the FBI. Who could believe it? Of all the fucking people, she gave...
So Jimmy and Henry get 10 years in jail, and with Karen in tears that Henry's going to jail, this is where the drug addiction starts. Now the second best part of the movie, the making dinner in jail scene as the Bobby Darin song plays in the background, Beyond the Sea, as they make food. And this is all happening in prison, and Henry brings in more stuff like wine and cheese, and now for Henry's side hustle of selling drugs. And here comes Karen and the kids and pulls out all the stuff she needs in for Henry, and she has no money and no one to help her. And she's scared Paulie might find out about Henry's drug selling side hustle and to forget about him. Not a word about Janice Rossi ever again, and 4 years later is out and he's back at home, he sees they need to move away. And now at Paulie's house having a big meal, now he speaks to Henry outside to stop selling drugs outside. And to stay away from Jimmy and Tommy these days since those two are wild.
What the shit you're gonna tell me, right? Yeah. That means anybody. Alright. Yeah? Yeah.
Henry not learning his lesson, he continues to mix and sell the drugs and even brought in Jimmy and Tommy into this side hustle too, and everyone's getting old here. So now at the new Hill home, and Maury's here with his wife, and he asks Henry if he spoke to Jimmy about the new money heist planned by Maury this time. For the new upcoming Lufthansa heist, and Maury wants most of the money since he planned this himself. And now all the guys involved in the heist, Tommy, Frankie, Frenchie, Joe, Johnny Roast Beef, and Stax Edwards, played by Samuel L. Jackson, look super skinny here. And even got his children's babysitter to bring in more drugs from now. And now it's Sandy's to grab more drugs and he gets distracted. Now at the Christmas party, as we see everyone having a good time after the Lufthansa heist, and here comes Johnny Roast Beef and his new wife, and even the pink car he got her, and keeps reminding him to not spend any money.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You don't buy anything, you hear me? Don't buy anything.
And out of nowhere comes Frankie Carbone, since he spent his share of the money on his girlfriend here, and now here comes Maury asking Jimmy for his share since he didn't get it yet. And Jimmy now giving Henry his share. What did he tell you, Henry? What did he tell you? And now he celebrates Christmas with his family and even gives Karen her Hanukkah gift since she's forgotten she's Jewish. Next scene, Stax Edwards still asleep and gets ready, but Tommy's really here to kill him. And he had to kill Stax since fingerprints were found in the getaway truck since he was supposed to get rid of the truck and got distracted. And back to the same bar with Henry all worried about the cops are all over Stax Edwards' place, and Jimmy now announcing Tommy's being made. So just like Billy Bats, instead of Billy Bats, got Tommy being made. Here comes Maury again, asking Jimmy for his money again since he hasn't got it. And Henry calming him down as usual, and now Jimmy has a plan after looking at Maury. And Jimmy has a plan to kill Maury tonight as everyone here is enjoying Tommy's funny story right now, and Jimmy tells Henry to forget about it now. To forget about tonight. But Jimmy's smart enough to know Henry will ruin it, so he does it himself with Tommy and kills Maury. Well, if he wasn't annoying Jimmy so much, Maury would have got the money.
Fucking drive. What are you waiting for?
Wait, the car's cold.
Get the fuck out of here. What? Fucking warm it up. Get out of here.
All right,
And Belle's back to tell Henry that Maury's missing and meets up with Jimmy at the same diner, telling Henry he killed him, and they part ways again. Now, full scene with all the guys involved in the Lufthansa heist all killed because there were threats to Jimmy, and Jimmy just wants to cash out himself since why would you want to give it away? Why would you want to share it? And Jimmy all happy as Henry narrates since this is the day Tommy's being made as Tootie and Vinny are here to pick him up. Yeah, Vinny is also played by Martin Scorsese's dad. And Tommy has made it as Jimmy now makes a call wondering how it's all going there, and it's a trap. So Vinny answers a phone call now to tell Jimmy that Tommy's dead and Jimmy's crying. Yeah, Tootie and Vinny killed him as revenge for Billy Bats. Yeah, it was all planned. There was no guy being made today. So we're now in the 1980s as Henry Hill is out in a rush delivering more drugs, and now severe drug addiction as he delivers guns to Jimmy and picks up his brother in a wheelchair. And during all this, he knows a helicopter has been following him everywhere and almost crashes a car. And is now here to pick up his brother Michael, played by Kevin Corrigan, and the doctor here, played by Isaiah Whitlock Jr., who died super recently, wants to check Henry. He was in The Wire. Have you seen that show from the 2000s? And he even points out to Michael that a helicopter is back to follow Henry, and he's here to make dinner and to pick up Karen to make the next drug delivery. So he stopped by Karen's parents' home to stall the helicopter and go to a shop to make sure to lose the helicopter, and then come back to grab Henry's car again and have now delivered the guns to this guy. And Henry still has a lot to do, and now calls up Sandy for more drugs, and even Lois again, babysitter, to make sure to call up the drug customer from a phone booth outside the house, and she doesn't listen. And as they eat dinner, Lois now wants to get her hat since she can't fly without it, so Henry listens to her, and they're screwed since she called about the drugs from his home landline. And Karen flushes out all the drug packets down the toilet since cops are invading the house. And I've made it to the police station, and everyone involved has been arrested, and the narcs have been keeping an eye on Henry for a while now. And he's in prison, desperate to get out since Paulie will kill him for selling drugs and is scared of getting whacked. So Karen's mom sold her house just to get bail money for Henry. And as he made it home, he's looking for those drug packets. And they're screwed as Henry has made it to Paulie's restaurant as he cooks sausages. I guess that's a new part-time job now to avoid prison. and tells him he's sorry for selling drugs and gives Henry $3,200 for life. And tells Karen they need to run away now, and she's back with Jimmy as he talks about how Henry's doing. And he gives her $1,000 and even offers her some Dior dresses down the street. And this looks so suspiciously sketchy.
No. Hey, go ahead. It's right in there. Jimmy!
Yeah, you can tell Jimmy wanted to kill her, but... And he's like, fuck. And she comes back home crying since she knew Jimmy wanted to kill her, and back to Henry narrating as he meets with Jimmy at the same diner as always, discussing his case about being caught selling drugs, and even offers him one last job to kill a rat. And Jimmy knows Henry may confess everything about him and snitches, and may even snitch on Jimmy too. So next scene, the two are with a lawyer who will help Henry out, and Karen doesn't have to be included here as both Jimmy and Paulie are being arrested, and now in the court. Back to narrating as Henry will miss his life for good once he goes into witness protection and now lives a normal life and gave everyone up, since we are in the 1990s now, living normally and peacefully and with all these updates on Paulie and Jimmy on these black screens. And that is Goodfellas from 1990. Great movie. Thanks for watching as always. Happy New Year once again, 2026. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Take care, see you soon and watch away, and I'll see you in the next episode.